I'm on the good till I collapse. I quit the drug till I relapse. My life is realer than real, I'm the relax. I was all pissy, said there I couldn't feel it. Mama been crying up, yeah, I can't feel shit. Been on my own, so I don't wanna hear shit. I'm tattoo, got piercing. I'm so just like fish filming. Bad bitch, that point still me. Said fuck like Frank, get fucked up. I'm so get fucked up. But it's the best gon' kill, better doubt. Look up for me, shit, slots.
Yo, what's good, y'all? 800 Points just recently dropped his most recent album, Self-Destruction, and today I'm going to show y'all how to make a beat just like it. So first I started off with the melody. I just opened up Electra X and I played in this pattern right here. I then layered that with another sound, which was a pad from Nexus. Next up, I opened up another Electra X and I just quickly put in an ARP. Alright y'all, for these type of beats, you're going to use a lot of ARPs, especially more dark sounding ones, as that's typically the type of sound that that MARTYR goes for, which is the producer. Shout out to MARTYR. That's typically the kind of sound he goes for when he makes these kind of beats. There's two components to this ARP, but this is the first one, which I only played out throughout the first 8 bars. I then decided to layer that first ARP with a distorted guitar sound. For the last component of this melody, I decided to add this ambient Vox loop, which is going to be available in my unreleased kit. Next up, I'm going to get into the drums. So the first thing I added was a simple clap pattern, but I didn't use any claps, as MARTYR tends to use more live snare sounds. That's like his typical sound. I layered 2 of them, but this is the first one. Next thing I did was added this hi-hat pattern. When making these type of beats, it's good to differentiate the octaves of your hats and not just have them all in the same C or, you know, wherever you would usually have them. It's nice to have these more low pitch, low rolls. Well, they don't necessarily have to be rolls, but just have more low hats in there just to add more oomph to the pattern. For example, this roll right here just adds more character to the beat. The next thing I did was just lay down this bass pattern. When using a bass like this, it's typically good to use a lot of slide notes instead of just having a stagnant, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down, you know what I'm saying? Also, when using these slide notes, make sure to shorten them so that the change in pitch is instantaneous and not just like a long sweep. You can do that too, but when it comes to those longer slide notes, I like to usually have them at the end of the drum pattern, like this one. It kind of works as like a transition sound into the next section of the beat. Next up, I decided to add another layer to the hat because, like as I said before, he likes to use live sounds. So this next hat is more of like a live cymbal sound. Yeah, those two hats just kind of complement each other and it works out well. I added this open hat pattern which plays out through the entire beat. Then lastly, I just decided to add this last snare, which doesn't hit at the same time as the other two, and is more just to fill up space. Two more components that this have for the beat, which I forgot to mention. There's another variation of that last snare I just played with this roll at the end. And then there's a tom breakdown pattern at the end of each 8 bars. Next up, I'll get into the second half of the beat, which is going to start off with a different bass pattern. As you notice in this half of the beat, the bass notes, or the slide notes rather, go down rather than go up as they did in the first half. That really low, deep, gritty sound of the bass going down adds a lot of texture to the beat, which makes the beat overall more darker, which is the sound you want to go for these type of beats. The only other differentiating factor in this half of the beat would be the alternate tom breakdown, which I added. Besides that, yeah, that's about it. Next up, I'm just gonna quickly go through some effects which I put throughout the beat, which I thought I should mention. A lot of times when it comes to these harder hitting beats with harder hitting 808s and basses, I don't like to just have an abrupt start. So what I'll do is I'll take a hard hitting kick just like this one, and then I'll reverse it and stretch it out a bit, and this is what that sounds like. As you can see, it has like a distorting effect and it just builds tension to the drop, which I really like. The second effect I added to this beat is this sweep that I just added midway through. And for the final effect that I added is this gross beat preset, this gross beat scratch preset at the end of each 8 bars. Alright guys, so the arrangement really isn't anything special for the first 8 bars. I just had the initial pad pattern with the first half of the ARP, and then in the second 8 bars I added the second half of the ARP, and then we go into the drop. Once the 808 drops, all the drum patterns are going to play for about 16 bars. Actually no, sorry, 32 bars. Then we hit a bridge, which is going to be the same as the intro. We will go into another 32 bars of drums, and then again repeat it again with the same first 16 bars of the intro. So yeah, like I said, nothing really too special. Alright y'all, so this is the end of this tutorial. If y'all want any other tutorials, any other type of videos like that, please drop it down in the comments. I'm always open to ideas. I'm always down to learn new stuff. If y'all don't know who I am, my name's Kanashi. I'll put my socials up on the screen. And also, again, another shout out to MARTYR for making this possible. Without the inspiration from his work, this video probably wouldn't be a thing. So also shout out to 800 Points for his new Self-Destruction album. I really enjoyed that album. I'm going to play the final beat once more and I'm going to let you guys go.